So you think you got what it takes?
I'll tell you what I got. Your wife's pussy on my breath.
Nobody's ever talked to me like that before.
That's because everyone's mouth is usually full of your wife's box.
You're hired.
Shit.
What are you doing?
I will my goddamn get here for January. Oh goddamn! Mother!
Oh my god.
Get with me!
Oh my god.
I want my goddamn get here!
What's going on? It's Sunday.
Pretty
Here.
typical Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday fun day. Always the best day of the week. What's going on, everybody? I'm on time as always. Thank you, Ben, for pointing out that we're late when we're never late. It's always Terry's fault anyway.
No,
Yeah.
Never.
Terry's got a malfunctioning computer, so he's on the phone tonight. So
two.
we may have a little bit of
Malfunctioning.
a delay. 2 malfunctioning computers. We have not had a good week with computers. Maxwell went out tonight. He's at the strip club. He'll be checking in with us on and off all night. Looks like he's having a good time.
See how it goes.
See how it goes. We'll check in with him later. Always late as fuck. So, what's new and exciting?
Just checking in with my guy there, the other country.
Oh,
New and exciting,
Rocky
nothing,
Island, yeah.
everything. Whoa, hey,
yeah,
How
there
are
we
you?
are. Big time.
regular.
You guys read. Oh, hold on. This is hard to. Whoa. Why is my head so big? As soon as you zoom in, it gets bad.
That's a DNA issue.
We read comments from both. I think they come in from both things. We get YouTube comments, we get Facebook comments. We try to read everyone's comments, but they come in super fast. So Terry tries to keep up with the comments, and I do the more of the vocal. Why is this so fucking close? See, that's what I don't like about when you zoom it in. So what's up, everybody? I hope everyone's had a good week or 2 weeks. We haven't been on for 2 weeks. We haven't been on for 2 weeks. Terry got a new hat.
Yeah.
Supervise me, supposedly.
Uh-huh.
What are we drinking tonight? As always, I got a choice here. You guys tell me which one. We got
So okay.
Bacardi Mojitos, which is made from real coconut rum. That's this guy here. Or we got Absolute Mango Mules. Both are super fruity, just the way I like them. What would you guys have? The Mango Mule or the Bacardi Mojito?
You're a mule guy.
Come
I
on.
gotta get a drink because I'm late, so I didn't get anything yet.
Or late. Okay, we'll try the mule. We got Absolute Mango Mules tonight. So, neither one. Yeah, I know. They're both fruity, but I'm not going to front on here and act like, all I drink is Budweiser or whatever. I don't.
Yes, you do.
No. What you got here? Super gay fucking.
I have my
What
ice
is
water. Yeah.
Yes.
Ice. Where did I go here?
Yeah, we'll be having a couple safety meetings. Terry, not so much, but. So, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. You're what?
I'm as safe as they get, I think.
Yeah, that's a true comment. Canadian beer is much better. I've had both. I prefer Canadian beer or Mexican beer, Corona. See?
Oh, hateful.
Speaking of Mike Bewis, actually,
Oh,
I think I have a little something from earlier today with you too. If I don't, I think this is it.
us too?
I smoke, yes
Yeah.
I do. Don't give a damn, I'm fresh off the couch. You can go ahead and say I'm little. I might be little, but I'm gonna be a fucking hell of a lot in that ring, buddy.
My name is Julius Purdue, and they call me the Macho Man. Bring it on. Boom County's where it's at.
Go ahead and start all the short jokes you want. I guess where all my height had to fucking go. Oh, buddy. Let's fucking get it, son. I don't give a fuck.
They talk a lot of trash, but let's see how much trash they talk when I shut this fist down their throat. Getting a big talk.
If people knew how much time you spent on things like that during your day.
Oh, it eats up my whole Sunday. I get up early on Sunday and I start editing and I start making memes and everything is, does it look like I'm in an earthquake?
Yeah, are you?
No, the computer's being weird. See, there you go.
You know
Estrogen
what?
liquid.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah, this computer. Okay, so a little backstory on what happened in the last couple days. I thought my computer battery died, so I ordered a new computer battery for my computer that's been really good. It was super expensive. I was super happy about it. Got a new battery, took the computer apart, put the new battery in it, and somehow I fucked up the
Broke it.
computer.
Fried it.
Supposedly. So obviously I'm not a computer mechanic and I probably shouldn't have been inside of that thing fucking around with it, but so we had to find, well, I took this computer to a local guy here in Naples. He basically told me I fucked the old computer, so now I have a new computer that I had to get from Best Buy. And now it looks like I'm in an earthquake, or I guess the camera's super sensitive, so that's the backstory on that. Fuck your.
He just chose violence, like right out of the gate. 8 minutes in.
Yeah. He's always angry. So, 2 weeks. 2 weeks have gone by. We haven't been racing at Immokalee because they were doing bracket racing. I'm sure some of you saw Gary flip out on the 00 shit show post where he walked off in the middle of, I don't know what they were doing. I guess he was trying to get the lights working and they weren't working. How much weight was in the back of the truck for OSW backside? How much weight did I have in there? 80, 160, close to 3, no. It was 2 plates plus 100. 260 pounds is what I put in the back for OSW backside. So.
Good evening, Jeremy.
What was I talking about? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
There hasn't been any racing because Immokalee has had bracket racing and we don't run bracket racing, but supposedly there were some pretty large payouts. I mean, some of this bracket racing stuff pays a lot of money. Might be something to look into the way no prep's going. We're getting slower and slower every year and everybody else is getting faster and faster. So that's beside the point, but so last weekend, was it last weekend? Last weekend we went to the Swamp Buggies.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. It was last weekend.
For what? 4, 5,
6.
So yeah, last weekend, Florida, 7. Last weekend, Florida has a thing they call Swamp Buggies. And basically, these guys build these pro mod buggies for 2 races a year, I think. What was Mike saying? 2 or 3 races a year.
Yep, 3.
They probably invest the same amount of money into these things that you would invest in a race car to run 3 times a year. And they, yeah, I think, what did Mike say? They win, it's like $1,000 if you win the whole deal.
Yeah, not much.
No, not much at all. So they must really like enjoy swamp buggy racing. So last weekend's the first time I've ever been to swamp buggies down here in Florida. My good buddy Mike took us out. Terry came with us with the family. And this is kind of what we saw.
Don't worry about the shop. You don't know shit about shop.
Oh, really? And you did?
I don't know what happened there, but they booted me right out of this fucking thing.
Just when I think it was going to be serious there for a second.
Curious on. So that's the Pro Mod, as they call it, Pro Mod swamp buggies. I guess they race in about, I don't know, how deep you think that water was? 3 feet?
I think there's different depths. There's that one spot right in front of us. It got super deep. I mean, those fucking Jeeps were underwater.
Well, yeah.
4 or 5 feet.
Speaking of those, yeah, so these things race around on super skinny wheels. I was having an argument with Mike about that because one of them was all-wheel drive.
Yep.
And we were going back and forth, and he said, all-wheel drive has no advantage in the swamp buggy world. I said, yeah, just like it doesn't have advantage on the backside and no prep. Sure thing, Bob. And sure enough, all-wheel drive won the whole fucking swamp buggy deal. Shocker. Yep. Sorry. But, I mean, the facts are the facts. So they also had these little Jeeps. These guys, I guess, build... what was he saying? They build the Jeeps, but they have to be V6s or something. Like everything has to be stock. They have a lot of complicated rules for this buggy stuff, but these were the Jeeps, just to give you guys an idea of what the Jeeps were about.
America! That's right, back-to-back World War champs! 1776, baby! That's the day George Washington and Christopher Columbus signed the Declaration of Independence! Let's get it! Freedom! Oh, you're supposed to stand!
The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town.
It was painful.
It was painful. That was the slowest shit I've ever watched in my life. And that I cut that video down from how long it actually took them to go around that whole track. I don't know. I mean, I know it's a tradition down here or whatever, but that shit is painful to watch. You literally can sit there, go for 2 beers, come back, and they still haven't made it around one time.
No.
I mean, all power to them. I'm surprised those Jeeps do what they do, because at one point, one guy was right underwater. All you could see was his helmet poking up in the roll cage of the Jeep. But
Corey,
this guy
got me. He got me.
Corey's just on it. He's on the plugs. It's all good. So, yeah, that was our experience last weekend with the swamp buggies and the Jeeps. I do not think I'll be investing any money in this sport. It was fun to go see one time, but definitely something different. I've never seen it myself before. I mean, I think it's just, like I said, a traditional thing here in South Florida, so it's more of like a bragging rights. They don't really care about the money, obviously.
Yeah.
But the best was, what did they call it when they put all the 3 together? The feature.
Features.
Remember the feature? So
they had
feature
Pro Mod versus a Jeep versus like the street class. So they had a 6-cylinder class too. They had the Pro Mods were V8s, big V8s, and then they did have like something in between where it had to be like a 6-cylinder. but it was still a full buggy.
Yeah.
And then they had the Jeeps, and then they had features where they pair those three, like the winners of those three up for some
Yeah, it
reason.
would be like racing the guy who won Run What You Brung, the guy who won Small Tire, and the guy who won Daily Driver against each other, 3 deep, and you wonder who's going to
You
win.
wonder.
It came out exactly as expected. The Pro Mod
Yeah.
came first, the other buggy came in second, and the Jeep, poor guy, was like way back.
Yeah, they were back getting a drink when he was done.
Corey, they have all kinds of trucks gone wild stuff down here. The mega trucks and all that stuff. I've been to them before. They're good events, but again,
It's chaos. Where'd you go? It's the trailer, internet. Just me and you guys. It's all that's left. You got me for the rest of the night. Finally, though, we got him out of here. Swamp buggies were sweet. We said we were either going to love them or hate them. I was somewhere in between.
are you still
God.
on?
I mean, I'm still on,
disconnected.
but I was running the show without you, regardless.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. All of a sudden, the internet just took a shit, kicked me off, and then
Yeah,
it came
man.
right back on.
The show must go on, so.
I'm telling you, it's this new computer's a fucking piece of trash. I like my old one. Anyway, that was our swamp buggy experience last weekend. So if anyone's down in South Florida and wants to spend 4 hours watching guys drive through the water at extremely slow speeds, I highly recommend. So
For
what
sure.
else did we have going on this week? Dig or Die is coming up. Obviously, I'm sure anyone in the no prep world knows Dig or Die is next weekend in North Carolina. This will be our 4th one, I think. Yeah, it'll be our 4th Dig or Die this year. We've struggled every single one, and we'll probably struggle again, but it's always a good show. Dig or Die is something that if you've never been to it, you got to go and check it out, because it's not only about the racing, the atmosphere is great. I mean, we have some pictures of racing there from previous years. Yeah, it's just an awesome vibe, as Victor would say. G2K, oh, this is Swamp Buggies again. Sick vibe. Everyone there are good people. It's always a good time. People are super friendly. And if you don't do an 8th mile, well, okay. We went today, actually, speaking of burnouts, we went today actually to do some testing for Dig or Die. We're on here. Yeah, we went out this morning. Sunday seemed to be the best day to Mexico. Yes, we left. We left super early to drive to Mexico, but Sundays seem to be the day to go to Mexico because everything's nice and quiet. I think nighttime is no longer a good thing to be doing your testing. So we went out today to do some testing for that.
Yeah, listen. We fucked up.
It looks like every other pass I make. That fucking truck loves to do burnouts. And
I don't know
speaking
where
of
that smoke
trucks,
comes from.
I don't know, but that's true. Early
All
bird is
accurate.
like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I see somebody down in our waiting room waiting to come on tonight. We have a special guest, so we can talk to him about we can talk to him about truck burnouts because maybe he can help me with my problem. But that's one thing he doesn't have a problem with. So we have, where's his intro here? Oh no, I made a nice intro for him. Oh, here it is. Without further ado, our guest.
You wanna play games? Okay. I'll play with you. Come on. Okay. You wanna play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Why in the shit
What's
does he
going
get
on,
such
buddy?
a good intro, and I'm in a bikini?
Dude, that was great. That was awesome.
You're always in a bikini. What's going on,
Yeah.
Adam? Oh, we're
How you
glitching
guys
again,
doing?
or is it just my end? Good, you?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Yep. I have a delay on my end, but I don't know if anyone else does. You're glitching in and out. Oh. Does he look blurry
I
to
am?
you, Terry?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, what the shit? Still blurry? I should have like X. I got Xfinity. This should be pretty good.
Hold on, let me try something. Maybe that's yeah, maybe the zoomed in thing fucks up everything. I don't know. No, you still look a little blurry.
It's probably a whole
Can you hear us okay?
background. Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
good.
maybe. Okay, good.
Potato.
So what's happening, man? How's everything?
Not much, buddy. Not much. Good. Trying to stay warm. You know, not easy up here nowadays.
How cold is it now up in Indiana?
It was like in the mid 30s today. It's been pretty decent, honestly. Shouldn't complain much, but it's been like in the low 50s, high 40s. But like I think the next week it's going to be high 30s, low 40s kind of stuff. So not too bad.
We cry down here when it's 50. I'm like, holy fuck, it's cold. You got to turn the heat on and do this and that.
Yeah, we freak out.
Yeah. Dude, I would be great if this global warming go ahead and kick in so we could get the 50s all the time.
Yeah, I know, right? They say global warming, but winter don't feel like that.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck. This guy's back.
Yeah, he's ready to rock.
It is Sunday, though. James, you drinking tonight, or are you taking it easy today?
We know the answer to that.
It could be some of both. So,
Getting
we
lit
had you
up,
on.
huh?
We had you on the Instagram lives when we used to do it, but this is our new platform. We're trying to do a little bit bigger, a little more creative, I guess you would say. So that's why I thought I'd invite you back on so we can talk.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always a good time talking to you. And we're 3S10 guys here, so
Bunch of gays.
a bunch of gay dudes driving trucks. So
Fact.
So do you want to do a little rundown for people who don't know you? I mean, I'm sure on here everybody knows you, but there may be the odd people that don't know what your deal is or what you do, or
Yeah.
where your claim to fame came from, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, I don't know how much fame there is, but my name's Adam Hodson. I'm also Trevor's daddy, as it says there. Got a shop in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is like northern Indiana, called Mid America Customs. Do a ton of tuning. We're big on Holly tuning, but a lot of installs too. Holly EFI installs, cam swaps, engine swaps, like LS swap stuff. Yeah, a little bit of everything in that realm, let's say.
So
Been
this
doing
is
it
your
for man, this is probably damn, I took a really blurry picture there. That was
yeah,
not good.
that's good as your feed here.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real
So
bad.
this is
We
your
got
this is your shop.
Yep, sure is. Nothing too fancy, but it works pretty well for me. We like it. I got one guy, Isaiah, that works full time for me, and he's a good dude, and he's been kicking butt also with me. But we've been very fortunate. We've stayed very steady and full for the whole 3 years that we've been doing it. So really can't complain there. We've got a great group of customers, and like, I don't know, I'm sure you're in the same boat. A lot of my customers have turned into friends, and some of them good friends, and that's sometimes is a really cool part of doing what we do. So,
So
yeah,
what
that's kind of
were
the
you always
of it.
were you always in mechanics, or was it something where you kind of turned into it for racing purposes?
So, like by trade, I'm a manufacturing. I was a manufacturing engineer. I have like a design or I have a mechanical engineering degree technically, but did manufacturing engineering and process engineering, all this stuff for probably like 15 years, and always did the car stuff on the side, and then finally got to the point where like Nick had moved up here and he started doing stuff, and we were so busy that it was either go ahead and do it full time and make the like commitment, or I just need to stop because I couldn't keep up. And when we took the leap, did it, and it's it works out really good for our lifestyle. Obviously, when you do race every weekend and you do this stuff like we all do it, and the time it takes, having your business as part of that has its advantages. It makes it easier to go racing like we do, and get a great customer base because we meet guys when we go out every time, and a lot of them either want to do what we're doing or want help to get to the level we're at, at times and stuff. So it really works out great.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, it's always good too when you can open a business, make money at what you love doing. I mean, I did landscape.
Yeah.
My previous trade was landscape construction, and I did it for 23 years. And I loved racing and stuff, but that kind of work always kept you tied down because of you had commitments to customers. Stuff had to be done on weekends. You couldn't just pack up, and schedule yourself as easily. So, yeah, it definitely helps when you're doing what you love doing, and you can get away as your own boss to do that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, we just have a little shop back home, and that's kind of where I work out of, and it keeps me busy. And yeah, on the weekends we can go racing now. It's no longer being tied down to the same shit.
Yep.
This guy,
for sure. I mean, it's the stuff you learn when you do it every day. It's crazy because I tuned cars for 3 or 4 years on the side, and you pick up a lot there. But then when we started doing it full time, it was you just learn so much so quickly because of everything that you take on when you start tuning 10 or 15 cars a week, and you get a variety of platforms too and stuff. Like, you really start to learn some things, and it really makes you a lot better really, really quickly.
Yeah, we do a lot of HP tuner stuff back home for the Mopar world. So the Holly stuff has kind of been new to me, and Trevor helped me a lot with that, getting it going. And I mean, it's all similar. It's just learning the new platform. I mean, Holly's a little bit easier than HP, I find, but it's still a learning curve like anything. But
yeah, because I tune Mopar stuff with HP also, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Like I'll have to
Yeah, it
ask
really
you questions
is.
when I have some, because
It is
yeah, the
a
Dodge
huge
stuff,
pain.
they don't want you in there messing with it, and
No.
it's so goofy that within the same year in the same vehicle, the tables can be completely different from one car to the next, and stuff like that. So that deal there takes some time to get a good grasp on it. I feel like that's why there's not a lot of Mopar tuning guys in general, and especially not a lot of good ones. Like I'm
Yeah, they
relatively
don't.
still green, to be honest. I've only probably tuned 50 cars.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think a lot of people want to get involved in it because of the complexity. Where like the LS stuff is easier, and the Holly stuff is. I mean,
Way
it's
easier.
more. It's nice. Yeah, the Holly is nice because you just tell it what you want it to do, and it'll do it. It'll break the car if you don't do it properly, but it's still it'll do what it's asking. Where the Mopar stuff, the HP tuner stuff, if it doesn't like something, the car's just like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. And that's it. It's like trying to fight a little child.
And there may be
you know
some
what I mean?
background table that's kicking your ass.
Yeah, and then the car will just constantly go in limp mode, and you're like, Jesus Christ, can you just do what I'm asking you to do?
Yeah. Yes.
So
simply just give me the basic tables, which is what is awesome about aftermarket ECU stuff and Holly in general. I mean,
well, we used
it doesn't,
to run our,
it isn't obviously the. Go ahead, my fault.
No, carry on. We
I was
have
just
like
saying the stock stuff. Having a million tables is great when you have to be in every different condition, from hottest to coldest, and the car has to be absolutely perfect. That's what you got to have, I guess. But for most of us that have cars that we're just racing around on the weekend or cruising around the streets, the simplicity of the Holly or a lot of aftermarket ECUs with, certain tables, they really can just get the job done with a handful of tables versus multiplier table after multiplier table after multiplier table. It just cloudies it all up.
Yeah, it's just a much simpler, like you're going back to basically the basics of what a car needs to run, in essence. Where Mopar stuff, you need to fight all the torque tables and stuff like that. That it's I don't want to say it's not as simple. There's a lot more stuff, and the cars are a lot more sensitive. So if they don't like something, they're not going to let you work through it. They're just going to shut down, and then you got to figure out why they shut down.
Yep.
So we used to do what I was saying.
Which takes before. A lot of time.
Yeah, and we used to have the Trackhawk, and the other pain in the ass was the only way to download tunes on it, you had to have internet access. So if you didn't have internet access to a shady track or somewhere that has no internet, you couldn't download anything into the truck. So you'd be stuck with whatever tune file you had in there. You couldn't make any changes because it had to go back to HP tuners all the time to tune it right through the internet so that it could see your credits.
Okay.
So the minute I got the S10 with the Holly, I was like, this is fucking amazing. I don't need any more internet. I don't have to, be fighting, looking for Wi-Fi connections and all that shit, right? It does make life a lot simpler. And it uploads in like seconds.
Thanks, David. We're going to try to bring you back here.
As opposed to 15 minutes, right?
Yep. Yeah, because you can't, you get so spoiled with live tuning too, which you can do with Holly and about every aftermarket platform, where you can make changes on the fly. With HP tuners, it's like make a change, upload, make a change, upload. And damn, upload's like a minute or 35 seconds to a minute. So, really the time goes and adds up very quickly just making little changes to try to fine-tune something.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I do like the race car, software, I guess you'd put it. The Holly is nice to work with. It's simple for people who are starting out, and guys like Terry, they've never tuned stuff before, but I feel comfortable showing him, the basics on there, and he can do it himself now.
Yeah.
Like you don't always have to be at the beck and call of a tuner per se, who's going to be like, once the car itself is tuned, he can adjust the boost. He can, make little changes. I'm not saying get all crazy, but with HP tuners, not many people are going to go in there and start fucking messing around in there. It's just, it's not as
or they'll be messing it up.
Yeah, they'll be doing more damage than good. So But I know HP now came out with that new standalone. I think I had gotten a lot of emails and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool that they're getting into the standalone game for the LS stuff. More of like a Holly system.
Mm-hmm. It's so hard to beat, in my opinion. You know, obviously I'm a Holly guy, so I have that opinion. But for me, it's so hard to beat Holly because when you go to the track now, everybody has it. So if you're a guy, especially that doesn't know a lot about it or you're new to it, you can go to the track, and if you got a problem, normally people are nice enough to help you out a little bit. So you have like 30 other people to ask what to do. If you go there and you have a lot of the other systems that people either aren't as familiar with or they're not in the racing, like the racing we do, let's say, especially, it's tough because if you go somewhere nobody knows how to use it and you're not real good at it either, man, it really it can cripple you real fast. So
well, I've told a lot of people that
affordable and it does so much.
Yeah, and I've told a lot of people that if you're not into tuning or you're not looking to become, I don't want to even say looking to become a tuner, but looking to learn everything about tuning so you can tune your own car with fuel tech or whatever, then yeah, I mean, Holly is the best way to go because 90% of the cars you're going to see that come out to the no preps and stuff, everyone's on Holly. So you can just ask somebody like, you know, does this look fucked up? Or my problem is I have my own problems, as you can see. This truck, no matter what I do, loves to do burnouts. I'm moving to Australia, I think, this year once I'm done.
We need to, like, if we could just do an in-between, me and you, like, I do wheelies that suck all the time. You do burnouts that suck all the time. If we could get, like, right in the middle, like, we'd be pretty good, I think.
I think it's just, like, I've added a ton more weight in the back because all you guys have told me the same thing. You need to add weight when it's, like, a tougher surface. And I've done all that, but I think also our trucks react differently. Yours has a lot less nose weight than mine has. So mine, I need to move a few things. I've already moved the rad. I'm slowly starting to move everything back into the bed because you have an aluminum block in that truck, right? I have an iron block. Mine's a little bit
I used
bigger.
to. I'm iron block now, but
oh, are you on iron block now?
So probably a little lighter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my truck has a little bit bigger motor, and honestly, this power management thing is really getting in my head. And I tell Terry this all the time because everyone around me runs 5.3s, so they're all like, you know, oh, I'm at X amount of boost by 1 point whatever seconds, and I'm like, fuck, I'm like 5 psi less than you, and this thing is just on fire going down the street. So it's a struggle. Yeah. We were talking about it when we were testing today. It's sometimes less is more, but that philosophy hasn't gotten through my head yet because in my mind I just want to add more. Like I want to be faster.
Yeah.
So you're looking at power as
sometimes slow is fast.
Yeah, and that fucks me up. I can't grasp my head around that. That's what's messing me up. Is I'm like, I'm going to be too slow if I do it this way, but I'm actually slower when you do it the other way. So
yeah, you know, I think a lot of us have that struggle too. I mean, I find myself there also where you just can't believe that if you take this much power out of it, it could possibly go faster. Like even though you see all this wheel speed and everything says that's what needs to happen, sometimes doing it, it's hard to convince yourself of it because you're just like, this just has no power in it. I can't imagine it's ever going to work. And so one thing and we've probably talked about this before is one thing that I'll do is go test at like a track that I know I can go A to B on and try to just put the least amount of power I can in it to get to the increments I want in the 60 and the 330 and then, you know, 8th mile or whatnot, just so that I really understand that it's shocking sometimes how little power it does take for us to go a 620 or a 6.0 or a 590 even. It's crazy that it takes almost nothing a lot of times for us to do that. But when we get on a track that sucks, if you don't have some of that test data like that, you just think, I got to leave on, 8 pounds and I got to roll this bitch into 20 or 30 by 2.5. And if you ran that on a better track, you'd find out that shit probably goes 550s. And if you would just leave on 3 pounds and ramp into 20 in 3 seconds, that's way plenty enough to go a 20 or an O, which a lot of times is a first round tune up on a lot of these bad tracks. But
Well, yeah,
that's
the
one
last
thing
time
I work on to get numbers.
Yeah, we saw each other the last time in Ohio, right? At that backside track. I think that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
And we were all looking at each other's
Yep.
notes and stuff, and I'm like, I couldn't believe how slow it looked. Not how slow, like how slow your tune-up looks, but then when you go and take the truck out, it's flying, and I'm like, what in the like? I guess I'm still learning that aspect of it. Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at a truck like yours or the other guys we compete with, and I'm like, I know those guys are going to run X amount of time this round. So how do I get my truck to run that time? And then in your brain, you're like, I got to add more because I don't want him to beat me because I'm too slow. And that's what we were doing in Orlando too. Every round, I was like, I know this is what I should be doing, but I just hope it's enough. And sometimes it's not enough, and that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
It's a like very
Yeah,
challenging.
because then you stop trusting that it doesn't take it.
Exactly. And you always want to be competitive, so you always want to be going faster, and you hear all these times, and you're like, well, on a front side that's relatively good, I can run that time with this tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
But you put that tune-up in the truck to do it on a backside to run the same time, it won't even be close. It'll actually be much slower.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's why you go to that decent that track that you can go down and you just fucking put nothing in it and just see how slow, like how little bit of power can go that fast. Because again, we kind of know a lot of times at least where we need to be on the first round tune-ups, everywhere we go, right? Like you just got to get round 1. So you always have that goal of this is the number I need. And man, when you can go and you go to that track where it's not going to have wheel speed and just see what little bit it takes, man, you'd be shocked. And it really helps you get some of that first round tune-up stuff to where you're going to go like slow, but you won't have any power in it either. And it will at least run that number versus in your brain going, God, it's got to leave on this much. I got to put that much power in it. And then you're right. It ends up going slower than anything because a lot of wheel speed and everything else. And you're just sliding around the track.
Yeah, I kind of wish sometimes that I maybe I do and I don't, because then you get to places that are good and you need the power. It's like a fine line of having the right engine setup that's not too torquey, I guess would be the term.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough.
I love my 5.3.
I mean, sport.
If I could get If I could get my 5.3 to light the turbos like I really wanted, like they need to be to where it comes alive good and stuff, man, I would put the 5.3 back in a minute, and maybe with some more dicking around it would, but that thing is so easy to like tame down. When it gets a little wheel speed, it doesn't take much timing pull to get it to check right back up and go. It's such a calmer animal than even the little like 364 6-liter I have. I really like the 5.3. Oh man, look at Sherm. Mr. All the power. Jeez.
You know what though? It is fun
He
sometimes.
does it
like
though. He basically.
What?
We need to we need to start banning Sherm from everywhere though. I told him that. He was down the other day. Was helping him out. And we're gonna have to start banning him because he's doing too good. And I warned him. I told him this was going to happen.
No, they're not banning anybody. It sounds like things are just going to keep progressing the way they are, which they should, I guess. We all have to get in where we fit in, as they say. It's just a tough sport.
Yeah.
I mean, where we're going to be in 5 years from now, probably not competitive anymore, to be honest. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you go and have a good time, man, that's kind of what it's really all about. If you want to stay happy and enjoy this stuff, right? I mean, it's like I've struggled this year a little bit, combinations new and haven't done as well as in the past sometimes. But the guys that are doing well, they realize what it takes. And dude, the commitment to this, like even run our own business and racing as much as I do, we used to test like a year and a half or two ago when we were really kicking some ass. Man, we were testing 2 or 3 times a week sometimes. Like the amount of laps we were putting on our cars was just insane. And that really is what it kind of takes, though, to be at the very top. So if you can't commit to something like that, you really then just need to put it in your brain that you're going to go have a good time. You're going to get the best data you can so that the next time you can do a little better, and just go have fun doing it, hanging out with your buddies, beating the shit out of your vehicle or whatever, and getting better, like racing yourself each time you go, and just trying to get a little bit quicker, a little bit better at putting a first round tune up in it, or getting those settings right and not making mistakes, and try to chip away at it like that. But when you go expecting to win every time, and when you don't win or you don't do well, you get bummed out. This stuff will tear you up to where you don't want to do it anymore. So
I agree with that. Absolutely. And that's what we've been doing. I mean, we show up to events. I'm not looking to show up to win. I'm just looking to go I'm happy to go a couple rounds because it's fun. It's fun to see everybody. It's fun to, maybe you'll beat that fast guy one time, and that's good enough, to me. We don't win. We win here and there, and that's cool when we do, but I'd never go to an event with the expectation of, oh, well, we're going to win this one for sure, 100%, because it's racing. Like, even we had an event down here was the same shit. I had bump box issues. Cost me both races, first races we had. And that's just racing. You never know. People shit breaks. Like, slow people sometimes make it to the finals because they just have horseshoes that day. And that's what a lot of people got to understand too, right? Unless you come out and do it, you'll never know.
Luck is everything.
And for people who just stay at home and say everyone's too fast, I'm not going to come out racing, that's not a good way to look at it, because you should come out. You should still come out and have a good time and at least try. If you don't try, you never know, right? It's like the lottery. People complain about never winning the lottery, but they never buy a lottery ticket. Well, it ain't going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, you can't. Exactly. And you can't get better unless you get out there and you have to race faster guys to get better. Like, that's kind of the real truth of it too. If you don't get out of the comfort zone and go and race faster cars to help push you, and you learn stuff by racing faster cars too. You kind of learn where maybe you are short at. So maybe you didn't, if you got beat in the 60, then where you need to work at to get better. Or if you got beat on the big end of the track, like, then kind of where you need to work on stuff. But if you don't go out there and do those things, and you just sit at home and assume you'll never be able to keep up, then you won't be, because you're never going to get any better doing it. So you do have to get out there and just, figure out what it takes to keep up with the guys that are fast. And it may be impossible for you to do, but find some other level there that you're trying to compete at. And like, whenever I go, I'm also just racing myself. I'm always trying to do better than I did the time before on that track, on that surface or whatnot. And then just minimizing mistakes, because it's so competitive now out there. Like 2 or 3 years ago, when we would go and there would be a 50-car field, you'd have 10 cars maybe that were really good, and then you'd have maybe 10 that were decent, and then you have 10 to 20 that weren't very fast, but they're guys that are just getting out there. Now when you go, it's like 30 killers and like 5 guys or 10 guys that are right on the edge, and then you got like 2 or 3 cars that are new or guys are just not got it figured out yet. So the biggest thing is to go and not make a mistake. You can't screw up and miss a tune-up. You can't miss a shock adjustment. None of that stuff. Like, that's the thing that if you want to win, those are the mistakes that you have to cut out of the program. And that's really hard sometimes, because it's so easy to make a small mistake, especially when you get out there and you get in a hurry or whatnot. But if you can go there and not make any mistakes and get a little bit of luck, man, that will take you as far as anything.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Are we going to ask how he made it into Kevin Wilson's good graces last week?
Yeah.
Does Kevin not like you guys or something?
No, did you see his latest video?
Yeah, oh yeah. He had messaged me and asked if it was okay to use some of the video from our stuff, and and whatnot, just because also it was kind of a combination of things that Nick and I had done and just wanted to make sure there wasn't any issues with it. And, we've always had good experience with Kevin. He's a very nice guy, and we've learned stuff from his videos too back years ago, especially. So
Super smart.
yeah, it's kind of cool that he likes what we're doing.
Yep.
Well, Terry watched the whole video with his notepad out and was waiting for all your secrets to be revealed. And then at the end, he was disappointed that nothing was revealed. No shock settings, no spring settings. He's like, what the fuck? I watched this whole video. I learned nothing. It looked like a sales video.
I'm going to have to just come sit in the trailer with you guys.
Yeah.
It did kind of look like a sales video a little bit. And I will say, Kevin's super optimistic about leaf springs and how they are and how well they can do. I do think he doesn't probably race the stuff we race, and as bad as it is.
No.
Like leaf spring and ladder bar on the street, I think. Yeah, leaf spring and ladder bar on the street work a lot better, I think, or easier. The tuning's a little easier than when you get on a true backside. When you get on the backside stuff where it's really slick, I mean, it's tough. And like if you have a 4-link car, you have a chassis car, I feel like it's gonna be a little easier because your tuning window's really big. When you have a leaf spring car on that stuff, our tuning window is pretty small and it doesn't take much to screw it up. Like the separation and the way these things work on Leafs, we don't get a lot of freebies. If it knocks the tire off on the button, you're basically done. So we don't get more separation coming in with like a 4-link car that helps take care of some of that. You have to kill wheel speed immediately and set the tire and go. So that's a lot harder to do on this really backside slick stuff versus like the street. So I think if Kevin came out and did some backside, he would see life's a lot harder on leaf spring. Maybe it takes a lot more than even just all the right suspension parts. Let's say it takes a lot of other time and effort and trial and error to get it there.
Well, I got all the right suspension parts, and you see what happens.
Yeah. Dude, we've talked a lot about your truck and my truck and trying to make them similar, but that's what's wild about them too, is we have kind of all the same stuff in a way, chassis wise, and they still don't work anywhere near the same.
No, they're completely different. And that's what I find funny when someone tells you, oh, well, set your shocks to this many clicks and that many clicks, or you watch some guy's video and you see, oh, he sets his shocks like that. More than likely, that shit ain't going to work for you because every car is different unless you have an exact clone. And I mean, your and my truck suspension-wise are probably identical. But it's just the way the weight is. It's the way the motor is. It's everything about it. It's just, they're different. They're the same, but they're also different. I can't use the settings that you use. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me.
Yep.
I've taken all your advice, but the trucks are still different. We found different shock settings worked a little bit better on my truck as opposed to your truck. But they may all be the same, but nothing is the same. Everyone's car's a little bit different. And I think what you're saying, you just got to go out there and just keep trying. And that's basically what I've been doing for the last year. You got to be able to accept losing a lot, because that's a big part of it. If you're going to get butthurt all the time when you go somewhere and lose and people chirp you, then this probably isn't the sport for you, because 99% of the people lose every race. There's only one guy that wins. So.
Yep. 100%. And so like one thing that makes it easier to get better quickly is obviously if you have cars around you that are similar, and that helped us a lot in our group. But having the right data collection stuff, like if you can hopefully have the sensors you need, whether it's drive shaft speed, and we use drive shaft and front wheel a lot, or shock sensors front and rear. And I just got a G-meter deal recently and I haven't used it yet, but I'm looking forward to learning some of that data. Sherm's going to help me out there and teach me something I don't know there, because I've never messed with any of that. But that data collection stuff and looking over those things can really that's the key to getting faster also. Because not only what does that data look like when, okay, the truck went right down and it worked, and then what's it look like when it doesn't? And finding out what was wrong and what was different and why was it different, and correcting that. That's kind of how you can get yourself to the next level and get a little bit faster. But all that data collection takes time too, right? It's not making 2 passes and going, oh, there's the answer. It's like 20, 30, 40, it's a season of passes sometimes to really get a full handle on it. And then even when you think you have it and it's like, bam, okay, and then it goes out there and doesn't work. And you're like, what the hell? It's like it was supposed to be and it just didn't work. And that's part of racing.
Yeah. Oh, that's 100% true. I got a question. What are your thoughts on traction control? A lot of people talk about traction control now, but my personal experience, most of the time it's hurt me more than it's helped me. I mean, in certain instances, it may help you a little bit, but.
So, TC is one of those things, like I use it too, but you have to be very careful with it. And like Sherm's big on, he doesn't like TC. A lot of the old school guys don't like TC, and for the right reasons. It really can handicap you at first because sometimes, like when it pulls power, it's worse than if you just let it go. Like it will cause wheel speed. And I've seen it a lot with our leaf spring stuff, especially. Like if I let it sometimes, like if it thinks it's got wheel speed or maybe that little wheel speed's okay early, if you try to take that away and pull the power, it will end up unloading the chassis in the rear, doing something weird like that. So, man, it's one of those things I tell customers, look, it works, but you need to go out there and make the vehicle work first. And then once the chassis is happy and doing its thing, then you're only using TC you're just touching it barely, right? You're just barely touching TC to kind of prevent excessive wheel speed, or if it has some weird anomaly where like all of a sudden maybe there's something on the track or maybe there's a loose spot or whatever, where it grabs a bunch of wheel speed real quick, you can knock that out and get it going. But man, the worst thing you can do is sit there and ride TC all day long down the track. You want to tear some shit up real quick, that'll do it real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
especially with methanol cars. Like methanol cars, we found out on a couple of them this year.
Yeah. Not happy?
No, because so you start pulling that timing out, and if you're not careful, there's a couple times on some cars, man, they had wheel speed, and that wheel speed then obviously makes it pull timing. And when that happens, you can get these things down to, single digit timing, like real low single digits, but have a shit ton of boost in it, which means a lot of fuel. And if you're not careful, it's super easy to hydrolock it or tear some shit up because, and the funny thing is it's still spinning because it's so laid over on itself. Like there's no power in it that it can't even hook the tire, but it's still ramping in boost and it's ramping in fuel and trying to do its thing. But meanwhile, you're just sitting there destroying the motor and everything around it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always wondered about that because, you hear cars like when they lug down with traction control, you can hear them going down the track, and it doesn't sound healthy sometimes. Like sometimes it's better. I've got the opposite problem. I got a shit ton of wheel speed, but I still find that with the traction control, we started dabbling with it a little bit, but you're right. On a leaf spring car, it's real hard because you got to stay on the tire. If it comes off the tire on the leaf spring, you're fucked. Like it's over. The war's over. Once it unloads,
100%.
You're not going to get it back. Not in the 8th, at least. I mean, you can try pedaling it a couple times, but it ain't going to come back. It's got to be like a consistent power, adding power to those leaf springs to keep them tight, I guess. Because we used to have a problem with the front coming up super fast and unloading the rear. So that was the first thing. So then every time it would just unload the rear, that was it. The pass was over. We couldn't get further than 300 feet. It would just constantly do the same thing.
Damn. Yeah, ideally with the leaf spring, it seems like you let off the button, it sticks to the tire, and then you're trying to pour that power in as fast and smooth as you can to just literally keep it on the tire and keep going. Because any little hiccup in power, whether it is a quick ramp up in power or a ramp down in power, man, it pisses it off so quickly. And if the surface is at all marginal, it definitely ends up turning into some wheel speed. Like, and that can be, when we talked about the leaf springs, like when mine started to go to hell and then you'd seen yours go to hell too. That's what I was starting to notice was like, it wasn't putting the power down to the tire anymore, basically because it wasn't wanting to separate or do anything. Night, Mr. Alex. And no matter what I did, it actually got to a point where I was trying to add more power to get it to hook, because taking power out of it just made the whole thing worse because it would separate less and wouldn't even try to put anything down. And with the leaf springs being shot, it just was killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's a lot of work, but you've made it work. You're an inspiration to us S10 guys because
thanks, man.
We see what you do with your truck, so we know it can be done. That's what I tell Terry all the time. I said it can be done because he's doing it. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, multiple times today we got back to the truck and said, what would Adam do?
yeah, that's
Ride a
what we
wheelie,
said.
man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, why aren't we riding wheelies like Adam's truck? We got to put more weight. Add another 500 in the back. Let's see what happens. Till that leaf spring folded in on itself again.
Yeah, it's so hard because like I don't want to because it doesn't make it fast. But sometimes I'm personally in a point where I haven't got things figured out enough that it'll go down if I pull the tires a little bit and ride it out. And there's that fine line of not doing that, and sometimes it'll lose a tire. So more times than not, I just end up I err on the side of pull the tires and let it ride out a little bit, and it goes straight, and life is good. But I hope to get to the point where it just picks it up a little bit and rolls out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's always a constant, and it's the slightest changes like we did today. We were just messing around ever so slightly with stuff, and just the lightest boost ramp change or the maybe 2 clicks of the shocks up or down, and then the truck would be better, and then it would be worse with the slightest, like you wouldn't barely change anything. Maybe you added a pound of boost on the leaf, and then all of a sudden it would just light the tires again, and you're like, well, that's the limit.
Yep.
So, you were at PRI this weekend, you were saying to me?
Yeah, it was a good time.
What was the best thing you
we
saw
went down
there?
for
Or
2
most,
days. Man,
like,
that's
what
a
was
good
your
question.
newest, or how am I trying to say this? New product that's coming out that looks most interesting.
Oh, gosh, dang. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I had anything that just like wowed me like that necessarily. Like I'm sure there's a million things there that do, but I don't know if there's anything that just made me like all just go in a pure amazement personally, but I know there's for a lot of other guys. And like, look, I go and I'm normally just going there to hang out with my buddies and talk a little bit. And I kind of look around. I'm not super scientist like to where I'm in there like trying to find all the new shit and stuff. So I probably just didn't see all the cool things.
You're not going to jump on the Pro Charger wagon? I heard that's the new hotness now this year.
Ugh.
Everybody wants to have a Pro
I don't
Charger.
know. Like that's it. I don't, man. Obviously, there's some guys that are very, very successful with them. I also think the guys that are it isn't just the Pro Charger, right? They're very, very good in general. And to me, the way you power manage those things, if you don't have your shit together, same deal. Like it's going to be the struggle bus, man. The way the power comes in, and most of the time you have to have something that has some nuts anyways down low. So like trying to take enough power out of them to get them to move down the track and not just be extremely lazy. And then it's all RPM. So then you're bringing it in. You don't really get the good power till you get up in the RPM, but converter being either it's too tight or too loose to where it doesn't make any power off the line, or we got too much RPM and wheel speed. I haven't messed with any, but to me, it seems a lot harder than where I'm at right now. And it's super expensive to buy a Pro Charger if you've never bought one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think all this stuff is expensive, and we've already invested so much money in this turbo shit that kind of be moving backwards now to try to switch it all to something completely different.
Yeah. You have to have a to run a Pro Charger car too, though, you have to have really good hard parts. Like crankshaft has to be killer. I mean, I don't have a motor that's worth the shit to do that too. Like I have a stock crank in mine, and it would not deal well with any kind of blower stuff for an extended amount of time and stuff. So you really got to have a very good bottom end of the motor to deal with that and good cylinder heads. It's kind of like a nitrous motor, you know, up top. It needs more camshaft. It needs big cylinder heads. I have shitty stock heads and stock crankshaft. So my life in Pro Charger land would not be long lived.
I feel you. So dig or die this weekend. Obviously, you're going with the squad. Are you going with a few friends or what's?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Alan and Alex are going to be racing both of their cars. So Bumper's old car there, and then the 4th gen, they have the black one. Sherm's coming down. We're kind of be racing with Sherm little if he can. He's not sure if he wants to park with us peasants up on the hill. You know, he wants to park down on the asphalt, which I get that. There's not a lot of good asphalt to park on, but I think all you Canadian boys will be down there, so it's going to be a good time.
It's
hoping
always a
the
good
weather
time.
changes a little bit. Like that's a struggle right now with I think everybody, right? This is the bad time of year to try to risk driving 12 hours and all that money for a rain out.
Yeah, no, it is 100%.
You know, the weather gets a little bit better looking.
Well, was it last winter's event that it rained and then we had to stay on Sunday, or they did? Was it last winter? One of them we went to, it rained the Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the winter one. I think it was December last time, or it was March or December that, Saturday ended up being a complete rain out. We raced on Sunday.
Yeah, and then it just fucks up everyone's week.
But Sunday looks like shit too.
Yeah. No, I've been watching the weather too. Hopefully we get Friday, Saturday would be nice. Then it can rain Sunday.
Amen.
Cold too. That's the problem. You can't dry it when it's cold. I remember they tried last time, and it's just impossible.
Yeah, that was kind of they tried, but didn't go all that great. And
it's hard when it's cold and damp.
Yep. And that surface changes a lot from the 3 races during the year there. Like where this is the coldest one probably of the 3, and the track is way different than it is in the middle of summer when it's greasy and stuff out. So it does it makes it a lot more of a tuner's game, and it really makes it a toss up a little bit on who's going to do well. Because if you don't have a lot of experience on the different ones, the different climate changes that it has, whether it's March, June, or December, it can catch you off guard a little bit.
For sure. I got another question. Was it this year you went to the twin turbos over the single?
Yeah, I just realized the picture I put behind me is one that has only the single on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was making me I was looking at that and I'm like, well, now it has twin turbos on it.
Oh yeah.
So what was the mindset behind that? More boost?
Yeah, more power, right? Like that single was great. It did awesome. We beat the shit out of it for 3 years, and it did really well. And it was competitive. I just kept, I would just get, just a lot of races I lost in the last 50 feet. It just needed a little bit more power to kind of help me out on the big end. And so we went to the twins and then kind of changed everything up. At the same time, went from my 5.3 to the 6 liter, put the 9-inch in the back from the 8.8. So a lot of stuff kind of changed all at the same time. And like with everything, though, it doesn't seem like those things are a lot, but it legitimately changes everything. Everything changes. None of the tune-ups are really any good. Your power management stuff's different. So it just, like everything, you just say, screw it. And now I'm going to start over, and you just start digging in and trying to chip away at everything. And it's done really well this year. Like, I mean, I've been consistently, I can go rounds, which if I can win run round, I'm always happy. And that I've been consistently good at that. Luckily, the truck's had enough in it, and it seemed to work well enough to go a round or two here everywhere. And it's just still me working on making no mistakes and getting the tune up just a little bit better, even on the big end, to really make some more power.
Well, yeah, it's been working. I've seen you since you've swapped everything over. Truck is definitely working, and it's
more power, more problems.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. What are your thoughts on frontside racing? Do you think now that we have a divide, like everyone's saying, where guys are going to be running more frontside, and then there'll be the peasants like us running the backsides?
I don't think. I mean, I'm okay with that because that's how it started. Like, that's why we went to backside, because we couldn't keep up in the front side, whether it was budget a little bit or if it was, and that makes it end up being raw horsepower at the end of the day sometimes. But I don't think it'll be that way necessarily, because it seems like the bigger money and the evener playing field is still on the backside. And, so I think that's still going to bring a lot of killers out there, because it's cheaper to get in and the payouts are better or just as good as any of the front sides. And if you've done enough testing with it, and a lot of them are getting better. That's what's kind of a bummer. A lot of the backsides are really good now compared to where they were 2 years ago. Like, a lot of places are half a second faster than they used to be. I mean, even Dig or Die, when that started, I don't know how many, this is probably 5 or 6 years. That, I think the first year they went, that was like a 7.0 track, because guys hadn't figured it out, and it was green and it didn't have any rubber down and stuff. And now it's, we're 2 seconds faster than that almost now on that track. So at times, so I think the better it gets, those front side guys are still going to come out and race because they can get down it and the money's there. So yeah, it's hard to do both. That's the thing. Like, that's why we've stuck to the backside, or I have personally, especially because to get the data to be fast on both times, both surfaces, it is twice as much testing you need to do and everything else. So it's tough to do that much testing, chew up that much tire, spend that much fuel and all that time to get good on both. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think you have to choose one or the other at this point, because if you want to be the top of your game front side, then you need to make a lot of suspension changes. And same with if you want to be at the top of your game on the backside. You have to build the car kind of to be better at one or the other, ideally.
100%.
I mean, there are guys
There's
who
a few
do
guys
both.
that can do both some, but
yeah, but it's always there's more guys that have set up their car just for front side that do very well in front side.
yes.
And same with backside racers.
100%.
There's guys who have committed to backside and they've concentrated all their effort on that, and they do very well in backside racing.
Yep.
But
yep.
yeah, no, that's interesting.
It's hard to do both.
It is 100%. We do a little front side down here, but I'm not used to it. I was still a little scared because the last time we did front sides with this truck, it used to wheelie like your truck all the time, but now it seems to be under control. So we're turning it up slowly. We keep turning it up a little bit. I'm tired of the wheelies. I know they're fun and cool and whatever, but I don't know. They've bent the truck up pretty good too.
Yeah, no, for sure. See, if you get lucky enough, I have that hitch on the back that really keeps me from getting too stupid with it a lot of times. Like, it kind of limits how far it's going to go, or has anyways, luckily.
Terry does talk a lot.
I'm learning from the best right now.
Terry, got any questions you want to ask Adam? This is your one and only chance.
No, I'm going to pay him for some one-on-one time after this. We have similar vehicles, the square body. So Mike's, he's got that bigger rounder one, but you know, us square guys, we gotta stick together.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have the fancy curves or nothing.
No, little guys.
Little guys. It's true though. Those trucks are lighter. I drive in Terry's
Yeah,
truck
'cause-
and I'm like, man, the thing feels much lighter than my truck, and mine's all, you know, relatively gutted and stuff. I've done all I can to lighten it up, but those little trucks still seem lighter.
Yeah. How heavy's yours?
32 without me in it,
40?
32 something, 3240, I think.
Oh. Yeah. In like what kind of trim? Like front side trim or back side trim?
There's only one trim.
Like with nothing in it. There's only one trim. That's a pickup truck trim.
Okay, yeah. I'm like 29 or 3,000 with me in it, like with no weight in it.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm surprised there's such a big difference because I got a tubular front end on it. Like we did everything we could to lighten it.
Wow.
I mean, the doors are gutted. They still have windows. Like it's still all truck. But yeah. It still weighs a lot. Fucking thing is a tank.
I mean, race weight though. Normally, when I race, I'm somewhere in the 35 to 3,600 pound range, though.
Oh, really? Hey, you add that much weight to it.
Yeah. Here's Sherm say we were feather lights. I think I heard Sherm weighs about 1,500 with him in it in back
That makes sense.
side trims. What I heard. That
With double the horsepower.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
My internet
Yeah, with big block power.
Overall, I think the trucks are smaller too, though. I mean, when you sit in mine or you sit in Mike's, I mean, they do feel way more. I mean, they're just smaller, I think, overall. So.
Yep. That's what it is, Mike. You're going to have to get you a first gen, bud.
I guess so. I'm going to have to switch Terry. That's it. We'll
Let's
just
do
trade.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Terry,
a
what's
little
your
bit of
combo?
work needs to be
I don't know
done.
if I know what your combo is.
I have Mike's old 6-liter from last year's setup. For now, just a single turbo. We might change that here coming up, but it's been a couple years in the making, so I really don't have any seat time in it. I'd like to run it, you know, the way it is now and learn it for the most part, and then we may step it up a little, but
Badass. Twins are always
Street
better,
truck.
man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, his turbo's too small. Like, it'll probably make about 900, which is plenty, but nowadays, not so much. But for now, it's good enough. Get the truck rolling, get it doing some passes. Like he said, he needs the seat time, so start off small, and then we'll just keep bumping the power up.
Yep.
I think Terry will just be happy to actually come out and race and not have to help me. He'll be working on his own shit. So
no, I'm gonna still do that.
that leaves me high and dry by myself.
No, you're the priority.
Maxwell can help me, actually. He's pretty good assistant.
He ain't worth a shit.
And Trevor put a comment telling me I need to add weight, 500-600 pounds. We did it today. We added a shit ton of weight in the truck, but man, it felt like a fucking slug after that.
More power then.
I know, and then we added more power, and you saw the video. So it's a fine line of.
Just got to learn it again.
Yeah, it left good, but yeah, you can definitely feel that weight. Like it's all there. Even when I was trying to turn the truck around, it felt like a dump truck. But maybe I don't. We got to bump up the air pressure too. I think we had the air pressure a little low. The tires were rolling on themselves.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
Again, yeah. Bump up the air pressure, and yeah, I got to figure this stuff out with all this extra weight. I really You know what? It's been kind of nice running front sides down here because the front side is semi-decent. So we strip all the shit out of the truck, you know, just run it with a little bit of weight on the back just to help it transfer. And it's been fun. It's fun going fast sometimes and actually using the power that I have in that truck. I mean, backside stuff is fun too, but I never get to actually like let the truck go because every time I do that, it just smokes the tires. So,
Yeah. There's a lot of guys that when they run backside and struggle for a while and then they go to the front side, they feel the same way because it's like, wow, look, I can take all the weight out and I can finally kind of go fast because it will finally
yeah, it's just
go
fun
a
to
little
go
bit.
fast sometimes. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a nice little break. I mean, it's no front side killer by any means, but it's nice to be actually able to turn the motor up and give it all it's got, you know, and get a couple of good passes in.
Yeah.
It's fun, right? But I do like the backside
Yep.
struggle
Yep.
in its own right because it's challenging. If you don't want to challenge, then just
Very
go
challenging.
sticky track Bradenton and you'll basically run as much fucking power as your car will make.
Yeah. And your truck would do good on front side because it makes enough horsepower. As long as like Sherm isn't there, you should do really well there.
I don't make over 2,000 plus horsepower, so I don't have that big block life.
That's just on motor for him.
Yeah, I know.
Then he puts boost to it.
Yeah, that's on 4 pounds of boost on his turbos. He just lets
Just
it
gate.
maybe.
Yeah,
That's gate pressure.
Yep.
Oh, I know. My buddy's got a big block turbo. He runs front side here at Bradenton. Yeah, it gets down. It definitely.
The green one?
That's the way to. Yeah, Rick's car is fast.
Monster.
Yeah. When you're getting up there in those times that I've never seen. I've never been in the threes anywhere. Maybe, no, not even to the 330.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, that big block life is good for front side, 100%.
It is. It's good there.
So, anything else you want to talk about? Shout out? Anything you want to?
Like I've always been very fortunate to to even get where I'm at with the stuff I have on the truck, and this year's no different. We always have a good group of guys around us, and they're always willing to help and work with each other to figure out how to go faster. And then you get companies like Force Performance has been huge with the truck since the start. Since we built the truck on the show, they've always been good about helping me out with some turbo things and help me grow with that. And I always appreciate Robert Young. If somebody's looking for a turbo, we sell them. And if you've ever listened to Robert talk, or you look at a lot of the guys that run his turbos, he's very passionate about it, and he does care a lot about helping his guys out and getting them to go fast. So it's always been a huge help with Force Performance. They've been in our corner since day one. Circle D also, Pete's over there now, and we worked with Pete when he was at Hughes, and then when he made the move to Circle D, we kind of jumped with him there. And I don't think you can find a guy that's like same deal. The passion he has for the sport and his willingness to help guys out and racers out and them to get better and look at data with you and figure out if your converter's still working right for the combination. Like he's good to deal with, and I totally recommend him. I mean, everybody's got their converter guys sometimes, but if you don't have one and you're looking for somebody that can really help you out, dude, all day, Pete at Circle D, and we sell those too. So I'm giving a kind of a infomercial for the shit we sell, but we try to surround ourselves with good people, and it makes life easier. And we're also lucky. Mosier Engineering is just down the road from us in Indiana. It's like 45 minutes, and we did a really nice shop tour over there this year, and you find out, like, I didn't realize that they make everything for their, like, they cast all the parts for their housings and stuff and make every part right here in Indiana, which is really neat. So even in the same little town. So that's kind of cool. And they've been a big part of this year. We beat the 8.8 out of the back of this thing over the last couple of years, and it was just destroyed. And, I was lucky enough they were willing to help me out some on that 9-inch, and Dylan welded it all up for me and made it look really pretty too with some custom shit. But
nice.
So yeah, those guys, appreciate all of them. They've done so much to help get us here.
I got one more question for you.
Oh fuck.
Are you coming to visit us in February?
Okay, now maybe you're back.
Oh, did you lose me? I was saying, are you coming down in February to come pay us a visit?
You know, I would like to. I mapped that there. That's 17 hours. Holy
Oh yeah,
hell!
We're deep.
That's a haul, boys.
23 for me.
That is a haul,
Yeah, but what else are you gonna do in February?
man.
Come to
That's
Disney.
true.
Go to Orlando. Go to
Right?
the beach.
Yeah,
Where else
that's
can
an
you?
easy
Where
sell
else?
for my family.
Yeah,
We're
where
all
else
about
can
it.
you? Where else can you race that it'll be 75 degrees, and the weather will most likely be amazing in February? There's nowhere else. I know. I've tried.
I agree.
So we got to get you
So
down here
yeah,
with the
so Sherm
family
said I
for a
clean his
little.
car, and I do. So
Hey, you got to
So
make
here's the
money
deal.
somehow.
If Sherm will go, yeah, exactly right. So I have to see. Sherm's been nice enough. He's hauling me around a couple of times in the stacker, and so here's what we got to do: is talk Sherman to going, so he can drag my truck down for me, and then I'm all in. So if we can get Sherm to do that, we're in.
Well, this is right up Sherm's alley. It is front
'Cause then he
side.
can
It
drive
will
the
be.
20 hours.
It will be scraped fully, so it'll be a little challenging,
Oh, yeah.
but it still is a front side track event. He'd probably do well here. So
Yep.
I hope you guys can make
Yeah.
it down. It would be a nice vacation
For
for you
sure.
and the family and get some sunshine and then get some racing in before you head home.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, see some new cars that we haven't seen before. It's always fun going, out of town or going. And the farther away you go, the more you see cars you've never seen before. And that's always a good time. Meet new people and, see different stuff and try new tracks.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
There's a lot of good guys down here in Florida. There's some fast cars for sure.
Yeah.
You'll definitely see some newer guys. A lot of these guys, I guess, race in this area. Some of them race out of state, but a lot of them, I believe, stay more local. So, but it would be cool. I'd like to, I'd like some of these guys to see some of you guys. Because the no prep side down here isn't as big as it is up north.
Yeah, for sure. We're super spoiled.
Yeah, right.
Shit.
No, it's true. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
we're
kind of
super spoiled.
happy.
I mean,
I'm kind of happy I'm up north in the summer because we do have a ton more racing up there, 100%. In this style of racing,
yes.
I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sherman and I can both, and you're just kind of over the border, I guess. But I mean, for us, every weekend we could go 3 or 4 places and race. Like there's too much, honestly, a lot of times.
Yeah, no, it's true. Now it's become so saturated that every weekend you can literally pick between 5 to 8 events where you want to go that weekend. Which is awesome if you love racing,
Yep.
but I mean, it does get expensive too.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Yes. My truck has been a lot of places, and yes, it's slow at every place it goes to, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, no, we are very lucky in the north. It'll be fast one day. It's getting there. Or I told Terry, this is my next move. Once I retire out of racing, I don't even know if I uploaded the picture, but we were discussing this the other day. I said, once I retire, we're taking all the turbos, everything off, putting this bad boy on the top of it, and it's just street car. Fuck racing. I'm just gonna troll the streets with some zoomies out of it. We're gonna just fuck around and find out
Just do
light to
burnouts.
light. Just burnouts all the time.
Yeah.
Just like
I need a tire
That'll do them
sponsor.
pretty good.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching from tire
sure.
companies, I could really use a tire sponsor. This shit's getting expensive.
Dude, I
We
tell
go
you what,
through a
that's
lot
one
of
of the best
tires.
ones to have.
Yeah,
Yes, chew them up.
100%. We went to Orlando a couple weeks back. That has to be the worst surface I've been to yet to date. You may or may not believe it, but that's worse than dig or die on the backside. It was literally like 3/4 gravel sticking up through asphalt. There was nothing to put rubber on anything. Like you were riding
Where
on
was that
top of the
at?
gravel the whole time. Backside of Orlando.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, if they just weren't fucking everybody over there. Rob, I definitely want
yeah.
to go to KD. I've never been there, but I want to go. But dang, that sucks about Orlando because man, that's awesome that it's that bad still.
Oh,
It's
dude,
hard
guys
to
were
find that
running.
right now.
Yeah,
Cheese
guys
grater.
were running like 680s, 7.0s there.
Woo.
It was hard. It was real
Yeah.
slow. Like I've never turned my truck down that much, and it was going A to B, but it wasn't fast by any means. But that was
Gotcha.
definitely a challenging
I like that.
surface, 100%. Nobody was going Chicken Hawk. Sorry, Chicken Hawk was fast, but I think that's his game down here.
Yeah.
Like Florida is his home
Oh,
state.
100%.
So
He's good. Rob's good,
he's
man.
good
They're
in
awesome
this.
people.
Yeah, he's really good. Like watching him go down it, I was like, "Fuck!" See, again,
It can be
makes
done.
me feel it can be done. It makes me feel like shit. Like
Well,
we're going
it's you know the
close,
same deal. Like that's part of why it's good to have fast cars there because if you know you sometimes think that you went as fast as anybody can go, and then you're like, oh shit, no, you can go way faster. You just don't even realize it. So you don't always push yourself to get there if you don't have a reason to. So that's what I mean. It's good to have some faster cars there to let you know that you thought you went fast and that's the best you could do. It ain't shit.
Well, it's true, and that's kind of why we got out of Canada. Like when we were in lockdown there over COVID and all that shit, we were always racing each other, right? So you thought you were fast, and you were like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm fast at this or I'm fast at that, whatever." And then you left the country and came down here and started racing some of you guys who, you know, might have been in the game a little bit longer and definitely have some fast cars, and it really sets the tone where like it's good to race those people because it not only humbles you but makes you work harder. You become complacent. Like
Yep.
if you only race the same five
Yes.
guys and you're relatively fast with those five guys, then you just become complacent with where you're at. But when you travel and start going to these different tracks and racing guys like yourself or some of the, you know, top tier guys, it definitely humbles you, but also makes you work harder because you're like, well, if this guy can do it, like I said from the beginning, I watch what you do and I see how you're progressing, and we have the same tools. I just have to sharpen mine. Mine's a little more dull than yours. So.
I'm excited to come up there and race more next year with you guys. I mean, looks like there's going to be another airport available to race on, and then a few more events. So I'm excited to come up there and do a little bit more.
Well, the shitty part is when or if you win, the exchange rate is so terrible right now that what seems like a lot of money to us, you're going to get to the border, switch it over, and be like, what the fuck is this shit? I just lost fucking half my money.
Oh, shoot. Damn it.
I feel it down here in Florida, I'll tell you. Everything costs the same as it does in Canada, but it costs me 30% more. Because all the earnings and all the money that I've made up north, we get paid the same. I was explaining this to someone the other day. If you're say a mechanic here and you make $50 an hour, back in Canada, you're going to make the same $50 an hour, but when you come over here, it changes, right? This thing freeze again.
Close.
A little bit.
There's something up with the internet tonight. My internet's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's been struggling all night.
That Florida internet, man, you got so many people down there.
That's
you know what
for
I think
sure.
Is it still raining up by you, Terry?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it's the weather's fucking it all up because here I'm on a Wi-Fi box, like a cell box, basically, cell phone box. So I think it's probably messing up the signal. Is that Adam?
I'm good, I think, with that.
Oh, okay.
I think the internet here is we got Xfinity, buddy. We got all the fiber optics.
Yeah, I don't have fiber or anything. basically running off a cell phone. Are we definitely going to have a tailgate class in February? Charles, you should be running in small tire. Never mind tailgate. Puppy kicking. Puppy kickers down here in Florida are horrible.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting thing for next season. I mean, with the way it's going, I feel like it's going to be similar to like 4 or 5 years ago when small tires started to get a little out of hand, or guys felt like they weren't competitive. Everybody drops a class, and there's cars that maybe fit a little bit if they drop, but there's a lot of cars that don't. So, but they can drop. So that's always a tough deal, and it sucks. And it kind of sucks for the guys at the lower levels that are trying to, they fit in a class really well, like True Street or something like that, or some kind of daily class or whatnot. And you have whether it's a True Street car drop down into a daily car class or a small tire car drop down into True Street. It can really kind of just screw up the whole deal,
Yeah.
But I think it's probably going to happen some, and I guess you just have to look at what you want to race in. I'm ready just to keep taking my ass whoopings in small tire because I want to race. I want to race the better guys. I want to play varsity, and sometimes playing racing the other classes is like playing junior varsity sometimes. So for me, I just would rather take my ass kickings at the upper level than maybe do well lower level, maybe not. It's still really good down in the other classes too, but
well, I've been on the fence about that because we have I've thought about this. I'd like to lighten the truck. Obviously, it needs to be lightened a little bit to compete at the upper level, but at this point it's still, this truck was always built, like even from the guy I bought it from, he built it as a True Street truck. That's what it was designed. Like, it's got full interior, it's got carpet, it's got a headliner, it's got literally everything that it should have.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of on the fence about, okay, what's the next level? Like, what your truck is like on the inside. I've seen it. It's a small tire truck. Like, once you commit to small tire, you do everything and anything possible to be as fast as you possibly can. And I don't know if I want to do that to my truck, I guess, would be where I'm at with it, because it is still so nice. And if I decide to retire from racing, if it does get too fast and we just can no longer be competitive, I'd still like to have a cool little S10 that's still all there. I don't really want to be converting it to, Lexan windows with, fiberglass doors and everything. Nothing lines up nice anymore. It's a race truck at that, like 100%. So
yeah. Yep.
I don't know. That's
well, I think that's a pretty important. That's a pretty important statement you made, because and that's the truth. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of guys have got themselves into a corner where they've went so far down the line into like full race shit that when they still weren't competitive, and then they were at a point maybe in life where they couldn't put as much time into it, they were stuck with something they couldn't enjoy anywhere else. And, you see a lot of guys that sell off stuff and cars because of that, because they just can't enjoy it any other time than at the racetrack. And if going to the racetrack means it's going to cost you a lot of money every time, or going is going to just be a letdown because you haven't been able to test or prepare to be competitive and you don't want to race unless you are, like that's a bummer that guys get rid of their cars because they can't have fun with them. And, mine, like you said, mine's gutted on the inside pretty much, it's pretty bare bones, but I've kept some things the way they are so that I can still drive it on the street and have fun with it. And, it's got 20-gallon fuel cell. So even on methanol, we can go pretty damn far, because that's what I still like to drive it on the street and do those things. And if I couldn't, I wouldn't have as much fun with it. Like, because, there's more to things than just racing them.
Well, yeah, and I agree. That's where I'm at with it too. I don't want to go to that next level. And Terry knows I have these fiberglass doors. They've been sitting there forever, but I don't really want to commit to them, because at that point, if we're doing that, then let's punch all the glass out. Let's, get crazy with it. Let's move the firewall back. Let's move the motor back. Let's go all in. If we're going all in small tire, then let's commit and go all in. But at that point, then after racing, the truck will get sold, because outside of running small tire with it, it's useless. It won't be enjoyable. There's no more truck left. It's a weapon at that point. One purpose weapon.
Well, what pisses you off though is when guys sometimes do all those things, like you said, and they don't go any faster, or they aren't any more competitive than they were. Like, that's a real kick in the dick then. That's really what sells off shit.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with that.
It's still so much more than that. It's still so much more than just having all those things. It still takes time and commitment and attention to detail and focus on it to really make it happen. It's so much more than just having everything that you think is supposed to be right for the lightest, blah, blah, blah kind of truck or car. If you don't have the other parts of your program right, still going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah. No, that's true. It is. You got to just always be working. Like I said, today we went out testing for dig or die. We'll probably test again when we get down to North Carolina. You're always testing. Like, you don't have a choice. You have to figure it out. And then all that data becomes completely useless, because then you get on the backside there of that track, and everything that you have acquired for every other surface is useless. Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah. Like, last year in March, we went to a local guy's house there in North Carolina, and the road I thought was identical to the backside there. And we made some good passes, and we had a decent, first round pass put in the truck that I was confident in, and smoked the tires as usual.
Yep.
So,
it's crazy, and you've seen it, I'm sure. Sorry. You go, Mike.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I cut you off all the time. Man, I'm cutting you off half the time, dude. I'm feeling bad about it.
You know what it is? It's a delay. I say something, and then there's a delay, and then I think you hear it. See?
Gotcha. So
I see you nodding after.
It's funny because you've been to Dig or Die, so you've seen like the day, like the night before or the day before, or like the day of the race, guys go out on the roads right next to the track, and they're out there testing their ass off and stuff, and they never it never works out. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have, and most time, sometimes it's guys that are just shaking stuff down because they got a new combo or something. They just need a little bit. But there's like a lot of times guys are legitimately out there trying to get tune-ups for the track, and they quickly find out when they go on the big end there that it's nothing like even the street outside. It's 100% different than anywhere you've ever been.
Yeah, it's useless. All that stuff, the only thing it's good for is figuring out, at least for me, with that cold weather, because we're going from Florida weather, different DA here, up there where it's a lot colder, just to figure out where the boost is at. So you can just figure out, that kind of data is useful, but outside of that, if you're basing your tune-up on what you did on the street out front, is not going to help. At least in my opinion, it doesn't help at all.
No. Fact. Yeah, Knoxville's backside is awesome. The only thing that's a bummer about Knoxville is, man, if you have any issue, like I don't have a parachute on the truck, so like I'm already playing it risky. Like if you have any kind of stopping issue, like I don't have a plan B necessarily, But even Knoxville, if you have plan B and B doesn't work all that well, there's no room for it. Like it's gonna be not fun. You're gonna like Dukes of Hazzard or some shit or into a wall. I mean, it sucks because
really?
that place is awesome backside. It is slick, but there's not a lot of shutdown. And if you don't shut down, game over.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Terry, anything else you want to ask Adam? You got anything?
No, like I
Talked a lot
said,
tonight.
yeah, we're gonna DM later.
Okay.
Let me get those settings that I didn't get from Kevin.
You light truck boys can.
Yeah,
talk
light
now.
truck boys. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, dude. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on here. I know it's Sunday night, so I don't like to keep people too late. We like to keep, everybody's got to go to work tomorrow, right, Terry?
Some of us do. Some of us, however, do not.
That guy, huh? Him. Yeah.
Not tomorrow.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, and always thank you for always being an open book, trying to help me out. I really appreciate that. It's not like there's not many people like that out there. I mean, there are some, but I've always messaged you, asked you questions and stuff, and you've always been there to, help me the best you can, I guess I would put it. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome, dude. Anytime, both of you.
All right, man. Well, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next weekend in North Carolina.
Sounds good, Phil. See you then.
All right. See you, Adam. Bye. My internet is trash tonight. I don't know what the deal is.
Junk.
There's like there's a heavy delay or something. Yep. Terry, you gonna slide in those DMs?
For sure.
Charles wants to know how close we are. We're pretty close. We got every time we take the dingo out, we fix one thing and then another thing pops up. That truck has been fighting us since I think Terry bought it from day one. Years ago. No matter what we change, we'll fix one problem and then the next problem will arise and then we'll fix that problem. And then the next problem arises and it's just a constant circle of, I don't know.
Fuckery.
I mean, it's definitely fuckery.
This guy sure is ready for summer. Watch him boogie by the pool in a skimpy Speedo and sandals.
See how it freezes? Did it freeze for you?
No, it didn't freeze for me. But you got a delay when you came back right away. But now it's like it catches up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Tonight, my internet's been kind of shitty. We have a storm here in Florida. I think that's part of the reason why the internet is cutting in and out. It hasn't been the best on this end. Adam looked like he was squiggle porn from the 90s.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if that's on his end or trying to connect through us or.
It's probably on my end because I'm hosting this whole deal. Just crappy internet tonight, so. Anything else? You're not coming to Dig or Die?
Nope,
Mike
not going to make it.
And, I guess our next show will be after Dig or Die. We can do a review of my performance.
Yep.
And then we have Christmas. Christmas is coming.
You're going to go back up north for a while?
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everyone. Yeah, I'm heading back north after Dig or Die, do the Christmas thing, and then our next race, hopefully, will be in South Georgia at that New Year's race they're doing. We're going to try to hit that up. So it'll be Dig or Die, back to Canada, then back down to Georgia, and then back down to Florida. So we appreciate you guys coming and joining us on Sundays. Hope it's been semi-entertaining. I apologize about the internet tonight. Hopefully we will, it'll be better for the next show. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope everyone has a good week. And Terry, I will see you this week before I leave.
Yep.
And that's it. Anything else?
That's it. Cody just jumped on, I think. We waited
No
for an
problem,
hour
Cody.
and
You
50
can
minutes.
rewind. We try to keep these shows down to 2 hours because I feel like after 2 hours, no one gives a shit what we have to say.
Gets late.
Especially Terry. It does get late.
I mean, we didn't have Max on very much tonight, so that's probably why.
Oh, shit. That's true. I wonder
What's
where
he
he
doing?
is.
Is he awake still?
Oh,
Probably not.
Maxwell.
Oh, no, he's still at the strip club.
Is he still at the club? No.
Looks
Oh,
like,
shit, he is.
yeah, he's still there.
Maxwell, you got to come home soon. You can't stay at the strip club all night.
Wrap it up. Yeah, bad things happen. The later you get.
I gave that guy a handful of signals before he left, and look at him. Ruthless. Oh, well. Hopefully Maxwell makes it back alive tonight without too many diseases.
Most are curable.
All
Some
right.
aren't, but most are.
Most are, especially in dogs. Maxwell, enjoy yourself. Terry, enjoy yourself.
Adios.
We'll see you guys at the next one.
All right.
See ya.